Hello and welcome. This is ASO TV News. I am Tina Oje Achi. The headlines. President Tinubu urges World Bank to back Nigeria's economic reforms in agriculture, youth employment. Senate calls for mandatory stocking of anti-venom, other critical antidotes in hospitals nationwide. And FG enforces biometric attendance in TVET, links payment strictly to verified records. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has called on the World Bank to support Nigeria's ongoing economic reforms with emphasis on agriculture, youth employment and private sector development as part of effort to strengthen the economy and expand opportunities for citizens. The president made the appeal on Tuesday while receiving a World Bank delegation led by its Managing Director of Operations, Anna Jedi, at the State House in Abuja. Tinubu reaffirmed his administration commitment to sustaining reforms, describing them as necessary despite initial economic challenges. President Tinubu also identified the petrochemical sector and other domestic industries as key areas for increasing local production and strengthening internal markets. He emphasized that ongoing reforms must be anchored on transparency, accountability, and economic stability. In her response, Anna praised the Tinubu administration for its steady and consistent reform agenda over the past 2 years, noting that Nigeria has emerged as a global example of reform implementation, boosting investor confidence and international policy interest. And now, Senate has initiated moves to alter relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution to pave the way for an upward review of the revenue allocation formula in favor of the federal government. Topsy Gimba has details.
The move followed the introduction of a bill sponsored by Senator Sunday Karimi Kogi-West, which seeks to increase the federal government's share of the nation's revenue to enable it meet with the lawmaker described as overwhelming national responsibilities. Under the current revenue allocation formula, the federal government receives 52.68%, while the 36 states shared 26.72%, and the 774 local government councils received 20.60%. Speaking with journalists after plenary, Karimi said the proposed legislation aims to address what he termed a growing mismatch between the federal government's responsibilities and the funds available to it. He described the existing revenue sharing structure as outdated and unsustainable, arguing that it places excessive financial pressure on the federal government and rising infrastructural decay and insecurity across the country.
You will recall that before now, we have been operating a revenue formula that has been there for more than as old as this present democracy we are operating. But we find out that, not deceiving ourselves, there is too much burden on the federal government lately. Most of the roads in the federation, they are totally down. You go to your local government, go to your communities, all the roads leading to various states, communities, which are called truncate roads, federal roads, they are down. Even apart from roads, a lot is being spent on fighting banditry and terrorism. And all this is left for the federal government to prosecute. The federal government, that is the federal, they are now having responsibility that they are unable to cater for financially. That is why I felt it necessary that we cannot continue to deceive ourselves and operating with a revenue allocation that this little fund, the fund that is being given to
the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has approved the digitization of Nigeria's fish imports licensing process to improve transparency, efficiency, and regulatory oversight in the fisheries sector. The minister has directed the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture to fast-track the implementation of the digital platform, describing the move as a key reform aimed at modernizing marine administration and strengthening local fish production. Oyetola said the initiative will eliminate bureaucratic bottlenecks, align Nigeria's fisheries management with global best practices, and enhance government oversight. He added that the system will simplify procedures for genuine operators, reduce delays, curb illegal importation, and ensure only qualified importers are licensed. According to the minister, the digital platform will also provide real-time data to track import volumes, guide policy decisions, and support national food security goals while protecting local producers from unfair competition. He stressed that the reform is part of broader effort to boost domestic aquaculture, reduce Nigeria's reliance on imported fish, and create jobs across the fisheries value chain. The Senate has called on government at all levels to urgently address gaps in emergency healthcare by mandating the availability of minimum stocks of antivenom and other critical antidotes in hospitals across Nigeria, particularly in high-risk areas. The resolution followed a point of order raised by Senator Idiat Adebole, Lagos West, who drew attention to the death of a young Nigerian, Ifunanya Wagini, from snakebite.
Emergency, including snakebite, scorpion, sting poison, drug overdose, and other form of envenomation, all of which require the immediate administration of specific antidotes and emergency medicines in both public and private school hospitals in order to prevent avoidable death and irreversible health complications. Further note that with grave concern, the tragic and avoidable death of Mrs. Ifunanya Nwagene, who reportedly died following a snake bite in Abuja recently, thereby revealing serious gaps in emergency preparedness and antidote availability within public and private hospitals in Nigeria. Aware that the World Health Organization classifies snake bite envenoming as a neglected tropical disease and underscore the critical importance of timely access to safe and effective antivenoms in public and private hospitals, particularly in countries such as Nigeria, where snake bite incidents remain prevalent.
Overwhelmingly backed the proposal, urging the compliance with minimum antivenom and antidote stock requirements be made a condition for the licensing of new hospitals and the renewal of existing licenses.
Because we are supposed to have antidotes to take care of such situation. So, while we are condoling the family of the late woman, we have to be proactive as a government. I see no reason why most of our medical centers and hospitals all over the place shouldn't have medication for snake bites.
In his remarks, Senate President Gospel Akpabio condoled with the family of the deceased and Nigerians at large, describing the incident as deeply saddening. He led the chamber in a minute silence in honor of late Ifunanya. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has assured residents that antivenom for snakebite treatment is readily available across all FCTA-owned hospitals and public health centers in the territory. The assurance follows public outrage over the death of singer and social media influencer Ifunanya Lucy Nwagemi with allegations that antivenom was unavailable when she was taken to the Federal Medical Center, Jabi. However, the FCTA says adequate stocks of both polyvalent and multivalent antivenoms are maintained under strict quality and cold chain control. In a statement on Monday, the Mandate Secretary of the FCT Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fasawe, said antivenoms are centrally stored at the Abuja Central Medical Stores and distributed to public health facilities based on identified snake species common in the FCT, in collaboration with veterinary experts. She explained that snake bites remain a preventable public health emergency, warning that venomous species such as cobras, vipers, and puff adders are present in urban and peri-urban areas of the FCT. Dr. Fasawe stressed that all snake bites should be treated as venomous until proven otherwise and urged residents to seek immediate medical attention after any bite. While condoling with the family of the deceased influencer, the Mandate Secretary emphasized that early presentation to hospital remains the most critical factor for survival, adding that the FCTA has strengthened emergency response through improved hospital capacity and the deployment of new ambulances, warning that health facilities found negligent in emergency care would face sanctions. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been commended for its perpetrations for the forthcoming area council elections, with particular regard to the ongoing distribution of PVCs for electorates within the FCT. Dr. Eze Onyebuchi Chukwu, the chairmanship candidate for AMAC under the flagship of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, gave this commendation after he was hosted as a guest on ASO Radio Igbo-based program. Daniel
on the
report
preparedness of the election umpire INEC in delivering a free, fair and credible area council elections, the ABGA chairmanship candidate for AMAC, Dr. Eze Onyebuchi Chukwu, expressed strong confidence in INEC to deliver. He, however, cautioned against unwholesome practices by some misguided party agents.
There is also reports of some political parties going to pack these PVCs and then it will be released to them. I don't know how possible that has been, but if it is true, INEC officials should stop that. It is not good. Sometimes they will pack the ones that doesn't belong to their followers and they will distribute or hoard it and deprive others from voting on that day.
On strategic inclusion and the propagation of the rights of indigenous people, Dr. Onyebuchi had this to say.
I am an advocate of the rights of the indigenous people. You know, I usually say that anyone who wants to be chairman in AMAC or any part of FCT should first of all represent the interests of the indigents, the owners of the land or the initial owners of the land. Now, having been a believer of this, what I did immediately I got my ticket was to first of all seek for an indigenous vice. I didn't just seek an indigenous vice, I got their youth president. The FCT youth president of the indigenous people of Gwandara is my vice, Husseini. He's very popular in the midst of his people. I also have councillors who are indigenous, like the Gariki councillor is a Bagi man, the Orozo councillor is a Gwandara man, the Karishi councillor is a Gwandara man, indigenous.
Speaking on his ability to deliver good governance, Dr. Onyebuchi reiterated his love for humanity and the less privileged, necessitating his desire to serve in their interest.
What I have is the empathy I have for people, the compassion I have for people. What I have is no godfather that will tell me to work against the masses. What I have is the support of the masses and the people I'm coming to represent. What I have is that smart in the smart agenda that I have, that I want to be to bring accountability in governance, whereby everybody will know how much coming into AMAC and how much going out of AMAC.
According to INEC, the FCT area council elections is slated for Saturday, the 21st of February 2026. Daniel Obi, ASO Television News.
The Federal Ministry of Education has commenced the full enforcement of biometric attendance verification across all centers participating in the federal government's technical and vocational education and training program as part of a renewed effort to strengthen transparency, accountability, and effective service delivery. The enforcement which took effect from 1st February 2026 follows a circular issued in December 2025 directing all TVET training centers to procure and deploy biometric attendance systems for real-time monitoring. The ministry states univocally that biometric verification is now the sole approved method for validating attendance under the TVET program. Consequently, all payment to training centers and monthly stipends to trainees are now processed strictly on the basis of verified biometric attendance report. Any training center that fails to comply with these requirements will not be eligible for payments, and its trainees will likewise forfeit their monthly stipends. Training centers were earlier notified that continued non-compliance will result in removal from the program, with affected trainees redeployed to fully compliant centers. The ministry reiterates that compliance with biometric attendance verification is mandatory and non-negotiable as it safeguards public funds and ensures that program benefits reach their intended beneficiaries. The Federal Ministry of Education remains steadfast in its commitment to strengthening the integrity of the TVET program and ensuring that public resources are deployed transparently, responsibly, and efficiently to empower Nigerian youth and drive national development. And now the Rivers State government has gifted a new Toyota Hilux van to the South 2 area office of the National Youth Service Corps. The gesture is in fulfillment of the promise made by the governor, Sir Siminale Fubura, when the NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, visited him at the Government House, Port Harcourt, in November 2025. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Benibo Anabraba, presented the vehicle to the Director of the Area Office, Mr. Philip Enaburo. A permanent secretary in the office of the SSG, Sir Dede Friday, and the NYSC State Coordinator, Mr. Moses Olege, were also present during the presentation. You are watching Asa Television News. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, also on StarTimes TV channel 127, and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Stay to come. Nigeria and Saudi Arabia strengthen cooperation on Hajj and Umrah operations. Stay with us for details of these and more stories.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you remember.
Stay connected. Stay with us, starting from Yanga and Jolly.
Very many thanks for staying with us. Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have agreed to deepen their collaboration on Hajj and Umrah operations. Following an official visit by Saudi Arabia's Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Tawfiq Al-Rabia, to Nigeria. During a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, officials from both countries addressed the media alongside senior government representatives, reaffirming their commitment to enhanced bilateral and institutional cooperation.
And could easily be ranked even higher but for quota limits. This is, however, an issue that would have to be revisited given the fact that we will become the third most populous nation in the world in the next 24 years, behind only India and China. It is therefore clear to see that Hajj operations in Nigeria will only increase. We're confident that today's deliberations will be frank, productive, and forward-looking, and that this engagement will yield practical outcomes that will further consolidate the excellent relations between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The two nations pledged to work more closely to improve Hajj planning, coordination and service delivery for Nigerian pilgrims. The renewed partnership is expected to strengthen operational efficiency, enhance pilgrim welfare and ensure smoother religious travel arrangement between both countries.
The kingdom welcomed approximately 89,000 Umrah performers from Nigeria in 2025, 92% of whom arrived on Umrah visas. During the same year, the number of direct flights reached around 420 flights through King Abdulaziz International Airport in Jeddah. We look forward to building on this positive development in a way that serves the guest of Allah from Nigeria. Also look forward to the continued joint coordination in preparation for the Hajj season of 1447 Hijri.
The Economic Community of West African States Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to modernizing customs operations and boosting regional trade by showcasing the interconnected system for the management of goods in transit at the 2026 World Customs Organization Technology Conference in Abu Dhabi. The conference, held from January 28 to 30, 2026, focused on the theme Customs Agility in a Complex World, Securing and Facilitating Trade Through Innovation. During the event, ECOWAS presented SIGMAT as a flagship digital platform aimed at improving the monitoring and management of goods in transit across member states. The system is designed to enhance end-to-end transit visibility, promote seamless cross-border data exchange, and reduce delays and trade bottlenecks along major regional corridors. The Commission noted that SIGMAT aligns with international customs standards and supports the ECOWAS Vision 2050 by strengthening cooperation between customs authority and private sector operators. By leveraging technology-driven solutions, ECOWAS aims to improve trade efficiency, foster regional economic integration, and build greater trust within West Africa's customs ecosystem. And the United States government has strengthened its military partnership with Nigeria by deploying a special forces team to support counter-terrorism operations in the country. The commander of the United States America Command, General Dwayne Anderson, disclosed this during a digital news conference on Tuesday. Anderson said the deployment followed discussions being held with President Bola Tinubu in Rome, after which the Nigerian leader approved U.S. airstrikes carried out on Christmas Day against Islamic State targets in Nigeria. He noted that both countries agreed to deepen coordination in confronting terrorism in Nigeria and across the ECOWAS sub-region. According to the AFRICOM chief, the U.S. is providing intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance support as well as intelligence fusion capabilities to enhance Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts. He describes Nigeria as a capable and willing partner, adding that the presence of a small U.S. special team is meant to complement Nigeria's ongoing operations. However, he declined to disclose details about the composition of the team, which he confirmed is already in the country. Anderson warned that terrorist groups such as ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other expanding their influence across West Africa and the Sahel, threatening regional stability and coastal nations. He emphasized AFRICOM's commitment to working with African partners to counter the growing security threat. And in business, the Pension Fund Administrators has announced the rollout of PenCap, the data recapture self-service platform for Nigeria's pensioners, with the process officially beginning on 1st February. The platform enables eligible retirement savings account holders to conveniently update their personal records remotely without the need to visit the PFA offices. PenCap is targeted at RSA holders who joined the contributory pension scheme on or before 1st July 2019 and are yet to complete the data recapture exercise. The successful deployment and implementation of the self-service process has been duly achieved through the coordinated effort and execution by PenUp, leveraging its expertise in pension operations, data management, and digital process optimization. The fully online process allows RSA holders to complete data recapture using any internet-enabled device, including live biometric capture and document uploads when required. Completion of the data recapture exercise is essential for accessing key pension services, including retirement benefit processing, retiree enrollment and verification, RSA transfers, and other approved transactions. Eligible RSA holders who have not completed the exercise are encouraged to take advantage of the self-service option to avoid delays or restrictions. The chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, has attended the final burial rites of the late Esu Muazu Kolo, the Esu of Mamaji community, Abaji Area Council, describing the late monarch as a dedicated, peaceful, and visionary traditional ruler. The chairman said the Esu Muazu Kolo lived a life of service, humility, and commitment to the unity, stability, and socio-economic development of Mamaji community and Abaji Area Council as a whole. He noted that the late Esu's reign was marked by wisdom, fairness, and tireless effort at promoting peace and harmonious coexistence among his people. Alhaji Abdullahi stated that the passing of the revered traditional ruler is a great loss not only to the Mamaji community, but also to the entire Abaji Area Council, stressing that his leadership and fatherly guidance will be greatly missed. The chairman expressed heartfelt condolences to the immediate family of the deceased, the traditional council, and the entire Mamaji community. He especially sympathized with Comrade Umaru Yusuf, Supervisory Councillor for Health, Honorable Abdul Qadir Yahaya Mamaji, and all sons and daughters of Mamaji over the irreparable loss. On behalf of the government and people of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abdullahi prayed to Almighty Allah to forgive the shortcomings of the late Esu Muazu Kolo, grant him Al-Janatu Fidaus, and comfort the bereaved family and community with the strength and fortitude to bear the great loss. And that's the bulletin, but before we go, let's take another look at one of our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has called on the World Bank to support Nigeria's ongoing economic reforms with emphasis on agriculture, youth employment, and private sector development as part of efforts to strengthen the economy and expand opportunities for citizens. And that's the news. I am Tina Oje Achi. Thanks for watching.